Not our intention to use the vendor bid, but should we do so, we will clearly announce that vendor bid. Ladies and gents, you must be registered under New South Wales Property Stock Agents Act. You must be registered to bid, and no late bids will be accepted after the first, second, third and final call for the contract. The property be sold, and you'll immediately be required to sign the contract for sale and pay that customary 10% or whatever has previously been negotiated. To our friends and our family and our neighbours, I thank you so much for your support. To our neighbours, to our spectators, well there, and obviously our registered parties, and there are a number of you today, and rightly so, I wish you absolutely every success. And I certainly do love seeing the neighbours and the friends and family here, and the social proof of auction. Well, that's what we love. That's why you're here, and that's why you're putting your property to public auction. So ladies and gents, the balance of the T's and C's here on display, I gather all are said and read. So just give us a few moments and then we will get underway. But talking about the location here, well, the property here positioned on 968 square metres. Yes, they're building more townhouses, more units, but one thing, buyers, they're not making any more of. That's right, it's land. It's real estate of this calibre. Not far off the classic Australian quarter acre. Imagine raising your friends and family here, having your family parties over. It would be an absolute delight. Now, one interesting point, I do love to have a chat to the vendors, the owners, just prior to the auction. John is very much looking forward to handing the keys over to you. Jenny does have the keys in her pocket. She's just as keen. And I did ask John, I said, John, what is one thing that you love about this property that you fell in love with that you're going to miss? And you know what it was? I didn't pick it, but after I walked up that spiral staircase, I did. It's that solid full brick feel and solid spiral staircase. Where do you get that? Well, you get that in the Art Deco homes here, don't you? And well, this is the location that it has it. So John is certainly looking forward to handing those keys over to you, as is Jenny and Vince. But the location, some of the finest elite schools in the district, private schools, leafy parks. Yes, it is enviably positioned here, right in the heart of East Linfield, number 9 Perth Avenue. Your accommodation needs are all sorted there with those 4 bedrooms. You have that double car accommodation just behind me. I do love that reasonably level land that we have there, and certainly easy getting out of the car, washing the car. That way inclined, it's a certainly easy home there. You've got that formal lounge, formal dining room flowing through to the everyday living areas, your family room, and at the heart of the home is that centralised kitchen flowing through that entertainer's backyard. Well, that is an absolute delight there. You've got the swimming pool, you've got room for the kids to play. Buyers, you've got room to raise a family. That's what John's done, and John wants to hand that over to you now. Looks like we might have a late registration. The gentleman here, if we can just get onto that gentleman there, he looks keen. Register to bid, sir, and we'll get underway. Come on in, sir. We've got a number identifier for you ready, and we're going to get underway. 20-metre frontage, just over 20 metres there. Double brick, short walk to the buses, the transport. Everything's at your doorstep. Chatswood, Milson's Point, the CBD. Wow, local village shops, it certainly has it all. Well, there you go, I missed this one, didn't I? Kalara High School catchments, Linfield East Public School certainly has it all. We're calling it home owners. Ladies and gents, just an interesting stat here, 75% chance of being the winning bidder if you are the opening bidder, so keep that in mind, all right? So, I did also read some... All right, ladies and gents, we'll officially call the auction here open of number 9 Perth Avenue, East Linfield. My name's Craig Robinson. You've heard enough from the auctioneer. Let's get that bidding underway, buyers. Where do you see fair value? Where do you see the bidding start, buyers? Something fair, something reasonable. It's over to you. After all that, I want to get silence, the customary moment silence. We've had some buyers rush in here at the last minute, eager to place a bid, and now they've gone cold. But that's okay. Look, the hardest bid the first bid is always the hardest, isn't it, Vince? Now look, the first bid may not buy it, Usually doesn't. But so it's okay. But it doesn't matter where we start, but we're seeking something fair, something reasonable. We can use that vendor bid, buyers, but I'd much rather hear where you see value. Calling for that opening bid, opening offer, buyers. Where do you see fair value? I'm in your hands. What do we say? Number 28, something fair, something reasonable. I would have thought a bid of somewhere around the mid to high fours would have been a good place to start. At a bid at $4,500,000, bid at number 28 gets us underway. Let's move in hundreds or 200 if you like. At a bid at $4.5 million at 4.5. $4,600,000, bid at number 17 there. At $4,600,000, right or apply. What do you say? 4.8. But a bid at $4,600,000 at 4.7, moving in hundreds now. Right or apply 4.8. But a bid at $4,700,000 at 4.7 here. Number 28 has it. At $4,700,000 at 4.7, straight ahead there. Do we say 4.8 at $4,700,000? What do we say? Vince, are they done and they are out? At $4,700,000 here in East Linfield. At 4.7, do we say at $4,700,000 here, Jenny? Bid number 28 has it there at $4,800,000 at 4.8. Bid number 17 on the right-hand side there. You're just a little bit slow. At $4,800,000, 4.8. Right reply there. Moving in hundreds, we will take two. That'll be at $4,800,000, $4.8 million here in East Linfield. Here it goes, buyers at 4.8. Are we done? And we're out and we're silent at $4,800,000. What do you say you go straight to 5 at $4.8 million here in East Linfield? At 4.8, Vince, are they done and out and silent? They were in for a bid there. They were just a little bit late. Don't be late. Being late doesn't get the keys. Not bidding only guarantees you one thing, and that's you're back to pounding that real estate pavement. That'll bid at $4,800,000 at 4.8 here. What do you say? Number 9 Perth Avenue at $4.8 million. Here it goes, buyers. Once at 4.8. Second opportunity here at $4,800,000. Are we done and out and silent at $4,800,000? What do you say we go straight to 5? At 4 and 8 there. Moving fast, moving quickly, moving in hundreds, 200 if you like it, straight to 5 at $4,800,000. The bidding is with you. Bid by bid, we're here to sell today. Buyers, get your weekends back. DeleteRealEstate.com, delete domain. What do we say there? At a bid at $4,800,000, can we say 5, sir? At 4 and 8, that's a fairly firm nod of the head. Can we? I'm here to negotiate. 4.8, 4.9. Auctioneer's a pushover. What do you say? Another 100 on top there, sir. At $4,800,000, I'd like to see 4. I'd love to see 5, but if you've only got 4.9, well, there 4.9 it is. At $4,800,000, what do you say? At 4 and 8 here, 4.9 perhaps. You tell me, buyers. Buy once, cry once. Get those weekends back. In actual fact, get those Wednesday nights back. At $4,800,000 at 4.8. That's the call, buyers. Let's recap on what's on offer here. Double garage, 968 square metres of Australia, of East Linfield, beneath my feet. At $4.8 million. At 4.8, Vince. Tell me where to go. At $4,850,000, sir. Bid number 1 there at 4.8 and 50. Another 150 goes straight to 5. At 4.8 and 50 there and 48 and 50, and that's the call. What do you say? It's straight to 5 at 150. At $4,850,000, bid number 1 is back in. Welcome to the bidding, sir. At $4,850,000, 4.8 and 50. Here we go, Kevin. First opportunity at 4.8 and 50. Second time opportunity, second call. That's the money at 4.8 and 50.
4.9.
The bidding is with you at $4,900,000. Bidder number 17 back in there. Right reply straight to 5. At $4,900,000 at 4.90. You're done and you're out and you're silent. Thank you for spirited bidding. At $4.9 million, our starter there at 4 and 9 once. 4 and 9 twice. Vince, do we go straight to 5 and perhaps at $4,950,000? Bidder number 28. I'll take that there at 4.9 and 50. 49.50. Moving at 50s or 100s if you like at 4.9 and 50, man. Bid number 17, $4,950,000 to be clear, even at a bid at 4.9 and 50. First opportunity, 49 and 5. Second time at 4,950,000. Do we go straight to 5 perhaps? You tell me. At 4,950 or 5.1. At a bid at 4.9 and 50. That's the call today. Stunning opportunity. Get those weekends back. At a bit at 4.9 and 50, 49 and 50. That's the call, Vince. Straight to 5, sir. Another 50 on top there. What do we say? At $4,950,000 at 4.9 and 50. We done and we out. We're silent. At $4,950,000 at 4.9 and 50. Confirm those bids, Ginger. We have them. At 4.9 and 50. First opportunity. Second time, Vince. At $4,950,000. Third and final time, sir. 4.9 and 50 and 5. 5. I'll take that there. $5 million even. At bidder number 26 there. Welcome to the bidding, sir. Good luck today. Bidder number 26 and even 5. $5 million. Another 100 on top, man. 5 and 1. At $5 million even there. Bidder number 26. First time opportunity. $5 million even. Bidder number 26 at 5 million for the second time. Jenny, at an even 5. 9, Perth Avenue, East Linfield. Where do we go from here? Even $5 million. Look at that, look at that. They say they can see these signs from outer space. Stunning opportunity at an even $5 million. What do you say? Doesn't need a cent spent on it. Move in, unpack and enjoy at an even 5. And yes, it's a cliche, location, 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 but certainly 9 Perth Avenue, East Linfield has it on offer. It's an even $5 million there. At a minute, 5 million and 50, 5 million and 50. At 5 million and 50,000, 50,000 on the rise there, make it straight to 5.1. And even 5 million and 50,000 at 5 and 50, go straight to 5 and 1. At 5 million and $50,000, Vince at 5 and 50. Behind me there is the gentleman out and done and silent, showing what 5.1 looks like at 5 million and 50. At 5 and 50 there, 5 million with the 50 on top. First time opportunity, and that's the money at 5 and 50. Second time for calling at 5 million and 50,000. At even 5 and 50 for the third and final time, Vince. Where do we go from here? You tell me. Bid by bid, we're here to sell today at 5 million and 50,000. At 5 and 50. Thank you for your spirited bidding, man. The bidding is with you. I confirm Jenny's got those keys, wants to hand them over. Buy once and cry once, man. But you all done and out and silent at 5 million and 50,000. At 5 and 50, that's the call. Done and out and silent. Thank you at 5 million and 50,000, Vince. At 5 and 50. You tell me where to go from here. Certainly can use that vendor bid buyers, but I'd rather here where you see value there. 5 million and 50,000. 5 and 50. Make no mistakes, buyers. I've got that reserve price. I've seen it. It's in line with the market. The vendors, John, has listened to the market. Set that reserve price appropriately, indicated he wants that property sold. That'd be at $5 million and $50,000. Vince, 1 second, been on the market 4 weeks. Certainly not in the interest of rushing home ownership, but let me tell you, buyers, nothing feels as good as buying Sydney real estate, does it? At $5 million and $50,000. Market's only going one way, and I think you know which way that is. At $5 million and $50,000. You tell me. Certainly that street presence, yes, you will be the envy of the street. Sorry to any neighbours. At $5 million and $50,000.
508.
At $5 million and $80,000. At $5,080,000 at 5 and 80 there. Do we round it up to 5 and 1? At $5,080,000, 5 and 80 there. Round it up to 1 and nice easy numbers there. At $5,080,000 at 5 and 81. So the first opportunity there at 5 and 80, another 30 on the rise. At 5 and 80 there. Where do we go here, Vince? I'm just taking another 20 there. Round it up to 5 and 1. Perhaps you see better value at 5 and 2. At 5 and 80 there. Another 30 on top there. Perhaps it takes it straight to 5 and 1 and 10. At $1,580,000 at 5 and 80. We say 5 and 1 there. I'd like to see 5 and 2 at 5,080,000. Will we say 5 and 2 perhaps? At 5,080,000, back to you, ma'am. At bidder number 1 is he out and done in silent at 5 and 80. At 5,080,000 at 5 and 80 there. First opportunity at 5 and 80. Second call. There's not going to be a fourth at 5 and 80. Third and final time. You tell me at $5,080,000. Thank you for your spirit bidding there. 5,080,000. We'll leave it with you to see where you see value, sir. You tell me. Bidding is now with you, ma'am. Thank you very much for your participation there at $5,080,000. In the event the property is set aside, buyers, well, we certainly will be giving an opportunity to the highest bidder to see that reserve price. You may not get that chance. Make that bid now. Buy once, cry once. As I mentioned before, bid strong and with confidence. At $5,080,000, the bidding is with you, ma'am. Thank you for your spirited bidding. At $5,080,000, 5 and 80 there. What do we say? A nice easy number straight. Say 20, take it straight to 5 and 1. At 5,100,000. At 5 and 1. Another 20 on the rise there at 5.1. What do you say in 5 and 2? At 5.1 there, straight behind me, $5,100,000 at 5 and 1 there. Another 20 on top on the left-hand side. Right down the starter there at $5.1 million. Do we say 5.2, man? The little 50s and the 20s and the 30s, they're not working. Bid strong and with confidence at $5.1 million there at 5 and 1. Do we say 5.2? At $5,100,000 at 5 and 1. Bidder number 1, are you out and done and silent? At $5,100,000, Vince, show the gentleman number 1 there what 5.2 looks like. At $5,100,000, perhaps check that CommBank app, check the apps and see what's in that offset account and available for purchase. At $5,100,000, 5.1 there. Claire, is this gentleman out, number 26, out and done and silent? 5.1, what do you say there? 5.2. At $5,100,000, buyers, get your weekends back, get those Wednesday nights back. Bid strong and with confidence. At a bid at 5,100,000 even here at 5 and 1 at 5.1 straight behind me here. What do we say, Vince? Okay, Jenny got me excited there at 5.1. Thought a bit was coming in, Jenny. At 5,100,000, that's my mind at I only generally see bids. You raise your hand, sir. Raise your hand. Was that a bid? You have to be registered to bid at 5.1. Just having a land at $5,100,000 at 5 and 1, and it is with you. Look at this beautiful location. It's a quiet street. It's peace and quiet. Look at the neighbours out celebrating. Who's going to be their new neighbour? Imagine Christmas celebrations here, children's birthdays. Perhaps they have a street party every Christmas. I'm sure the neighbours can vouch for that. At $5,100,000 here, it's on behalf of McConnell Bourne and the entire team at 5.1. It is with you, ma'am. We'd love to sell you the property, but perhaps if there's a stronger bid out there, we'll make it be known now at $5,100,000 at 5 and 1. Give you a moment just to recap on what's on offer here. You've certainly reviewed the contract for sale, got that standard 42 settlement days there after the date of this contract, or perhaps you've organised another settlement to your liking there. You got that 10% deposit, or perhaps you've discussed a variation of that. Certainly got that vacant possession. Well, and all those inclusions there. Well, you've got the fixed floor coverings. Thank goodness they're leaving those. At a bid at $5,100,000 at 5 and 1. Buyers, come with me now at $5,100,000. 5.2 would look good on that contract. What do you think, Vince? At $5,100,000, looking for another 100 on the rise. At 5 and 1, perhaps you see 50 at better value. At 5 and 1 and $5,100,000, we're just registering that bid. We've got that there. Thank you, Ginger. That is confirmed. At 5 and 1. 5,100,000 has started there. Lady's out and done and silent. 5 and 1. Just going through some calculations there. Okay, just help her out, perhaps. 5.2. Be a good place to be. Certainly better than 5.1. Thinking about it, okay, all right, very good. Certainly not in the interest of rushing home ownership, but certainly, man, within reason, take all the time that you need. At about $5,100,000, Matthew, isn't this stunning? Isn't this amazing value? Look at that. If that's not an honest, amazing, and a smile from a real estate agent, I don't know what is. At about $5,100,000, at 5.1, position here to my left. Look at this. The grass is green. Wow, hedges are trimmed. It's certainly it's immaculate. Don't even need to so much as run the mower over. It's all ready to go. Love to give you those keys tonight, buyers. In the absence of any bidding at $5 million, the underbidder does have first right of refusal into private negotiations. 5.1 positioned here at $5,100,000. Council even gone to the pleasure of resurfacing the road and putting new gutters in for the sale at 5.1. At $5,100,000, Vince, at 5 and 1. Do we say 550? 5 and 150. You tell me. At 5.1, directly behind me here at $5,100,000, do we say 5 and 150? Perhaps 5.2. Contract's been expertly prepared there by Vinden Lawyers over in Help Street, Chatswood. You've no doubt done your due diligence, seen the property multiple times over the last 4 weeks of the campaign, inspected it, fallen in love. Well, buyers, now's that opportunity. Not bidding buyers, it only guarantees you one thing, and that's you're probably going to come back to more of my auctions, which I do love, but I'd much rather see you buying some Sydney real estate, and I'm sure you would too. At $5,100,000. At 5.1, that's the call. Yep, certainly a flexible home, isn't it? Multiple family zones. Yeah, it's certainly got family written all over it at 5 and 1. $5.1 million here in East Linfield. What do we say, Jenny and Vince? $5,100,000 for 9 Perth Avenue. I'm just going to take a step back here and certainly take in this absolute beauty. Freshly painted exteriors there. Looks like a woodland grey trim or something like that on the guttering, and that's my guess. Not going to guess that cream colour though. Very nicely designed, surrounded by beautiful quality real estate. Look at how your neighbours keep their properties. Well, that's only lifting the value of yours, isn't it? At 5.1. Beautiful location. Stunning opportunity. 5.1, right here, terracotta roof tiles. Wow. You don't need to replace those. Don't need to spray paint those. At 5-1. It just shows the quality from the top down. Full brick construction buyers at 5,100,000. 5 million and 1 is the call. That's the money. But buyers, you tell me where to go from here. At 5-1. As we edge closer to home ownership, at 5-1. Yeah, certainly is a tightly held location here. John indicated to me the last time this was on the market was 20 years ago. Where are you going to be in another 20 years, buyers? That's the not far off a once-in-a-generation opportunity there. At 5-1. Can you wait another 20 years for this to come on the market? I certainly couldn't. At 5-1. We have received those instructions that we will be setting the property aside and passing in with our highest bidder here in the absence of any further bidding, and we will give you that opportunity in a moment there. And at $5,100,000, bidder number 17 holds that first right of refusal and the first right to negotiate privately behind closed doors. Now's your opportunity to see that reserve price at a bid at $5,100,000. Do we say another 50 on the rise at $5,150,000? You tell me. I'm going to call it away, Vince. First opportunity at 5.1. That's the money. Second time in calling at a bid at 5.1. For the third and final opportunity at $5,100,000, another 50 man fight, 5-1 and 50. I'll take that bid there at 5-1 and 50 if you like, before I set the property aside. Opportunity to negotiate privately with the bid. Okay, that's fine. Thank you for your spirited bidding. Just confirming that you're all right, Vince, all done, out and silent. And also Claire over up the back there, done and out in silence once, twice, third and final opportunity at a bid of $5,100,000. We will negotiate privately, buyers. Thank you for your spirited bidding. Thank you for your participation to the friends and family, and assure you that Jenny, Matthew and Vince will be slapping a soul sticker on that sign in the not too distant future at 5 and 1.